What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get into the news of the day. One of the biggest things that I saw today that really kind of made me, it's sad, but it makes me laugh. Because the sad part is what actually this person did. The laugh part is what MAGA is going through right now. Right now, today at least, in the past few days, this Epstein file thing. MAGA has been going crazy over this. And it's weird how you got MAGA leadership, right? And then you got the MAGA influencers out there, the Alex Jones, the Tucker Carlsons, and all those. And then the lower end influencers, that you hear about. And then the MAGA people who just follow, right? The sheep crowd. And so you start to see that this is driving MAGA crazy. That they don't know anything about what's going on with Epstein. Now, let's preface this at the very beginning, okay? Hey DJ, hey Kenneth. Let's preface this. Now, we understand that this man was evil, Jeffrey Epstein. We also understand that Donald Trump and him were buddies. We also understand that, birds of a feather flock together. And there are times in life when you hang with your boys and you don't know exactly what kind of homie you hanging with because they kind of like really good and being secretive in what they're doing. But you still get an understanding, like there's some kind of shady about homie, right? And Donald Trump kind of gives it away that he knew something was strange about homie. In which, and then there was also that case where the 13-year-old girl who's now passed away blamed him for, raping her. Both of them, gang raping her. So, but despite that, Donald Trump says, at least on one occasion, that him and this dude, Jeffrey Epstein, are cool. And he wrote this a while back ago. He said these statements. Me and him was cool. He said, but, he likes him on a little bit on the younger side, younger than me. Now, we understand that Donald Trump looked at kids funny. We understand that Donald Trump said that he used to go behind, his American, pageants and shit. And there were, girls that are 13, 14 years old in the back. He said it on the talk show Howard Stern many years ago. Him and Howard Stern was kind of creepy in that interview too, because he was all excited about the fact that this man was seeing young kids undressed. That were their main thing was, they weren't going out on stage being undressed. They was behind because they had to throw on another outfit and go out there and perform for people, for their beauty and their talents and shit. And this man was like, oh, I own it, let me go back there. And he even brags about the fact of seeing them undressed. And I can only do it. Like, he was bragging about that shit. These are 13 and 14-year-olds. And for him to say, and up, I'm sure there was like 18-year-olds there too, but he had a young pageantry in that particular time. But he went on to say that Epstein liked them younger than him. We know Donald Trump was staying at 13, 14-year-olds. So, just because he owned it. And this is what kills me, is how people just look past shit. I'm still freaking out and tripped out over the time that people still look at some of these Roman Polanski, what I'm saying, he got kicked out of the country, but people still look up to him and watch his movies, and all these other mostly white men. There's other men who've done it too. Black men have done it, but mostly white men who have gotten away with it more than once. Again, Roman Polanski got kicked out of the country. Well, he left the country. He fled the country. Came back and they celebrated him for some kind of award or some shit, right? And then we got the other one who married his daughter. I forgot his name at the top because I've never watched any one of his movies. But he married one of his daughters who was Asian. He helped raise his daughter up, right? And then later on married her, and I don't know if they had kids or not, but married her. I would never watch that dude's movies, ever. Everybody's talking, oh, he's a good writer. I don't give a damn. This man was better. If Jesus tapped him on the shoulder and said, you shall be the film writer or whatever, me and Jesus got problems at that point. No, not at all. I wouldn't touch his movies. Wouldn't see him. You can see I barely remember his fucking name, but he's huge for everybody else. Friends who are actors of mine like, oh, I would love to get in one of his movies. I'm like, whatever. I would not deal with it. But anyway, we know that Donald Trump and this pedophile were close friends, right? We know it. Woody Allen, thank you, Vera. Woody Allen. We know that they were close friends. And usually when you were close friends and y'all hanging out at parties and y'all looking at girls, y'all kind of believe and talk about the same things. If you saw the video of Donald Trump talking to him while they were staring at little girls, young ladies, I don't know their ages, but he was pointing at them and, oh, look at that one and type of things like that. Dudes do that. Don't get me wrong. We look and say, oh, she's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that. But to know this man's past, right? For them to be doing that, we don't know exactly how old these people are or what they were talking about. So, but it comes out later that this man was throwing these types of parties, but he was inviting young girls to them. And we also know that Prince Andrew and a bunch of other people were shown with these young girls, even at their places. They took them all, you know, they got pictures of them hanging out because he would pay for this particular thing that Epstein was selling. There's a reason why nobody knew what this man did for a living. Jeffrey Epstein was this huge billionaire, and nobody had heard of this fool's name except for people who were rich. And this dude didn't, from what I was told, he wasn't born in wealth. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. So you had to know he was doing something. I bet he knew. I ain't gonna go there. I know he knows some people who were doing that too. But anyway, they released a video, and we're gonna try and check this stuff out in the order that I put it in. But they released a video which MAGA is going crazy over, because the video that they released to kind of like quell this whole thing after they had sent out a memo. Pam Bondi sent out a memo basically saying there is nothing here to see. But what they did get to see was 11 minutes of absolutely nothing. Now, I don't have the entire 11 minutes. I got this from MSNBC, but this is what they saw for 11 minutes. And I want to talk to you guys for a hot second about what it is that you're seeing. Okay. Now, what you're seeing is two cells, right? And they are assuming that MAGA are stupid. And MAGA is. Don't get me wrong. But they thought this right here was going to quell it for them. They're just going to stop talking. They weren't going to say nothing. They were just going to let this fly. But what this turns out to be, and they got like 11 minutes of this, if I can play, I think I got like 30 seconds of it. Something to that effect. See if I can get it. But they got this video, and they wanted these people to believe that this was the actual spot, but it wasn't. This is not the spot. You look at it, let me see if I can get it to play here. I kind of freaked out a little bit. But anyway, you'll see in the background, I can see if you can see it's moving. Yeah, you see people in the background kind of moving, right? Well, the original video, after they found him unalived, this right here is not his room. These are not his cells. And the only reason I know about it is because I saw one of the experts talk about it today, saying that this is not the cell based off of the footage that they got from after he was unalive. You got a chance to see, you know, like reporters and different things like that got a chance to see this footage that was given to them of some sort. And they saw the cell and the angle and the layout of the building. The layout of the building didn't have that background to it. It was in a different area. It's on the same floor, but a different area. Right? And I'm sitting there tripping like, you didn't think your MAGA people are going to figure that out? That you literally put this up? And here's the crazy part too. This video is 11 minutes long, but there is a 1-minute clip that's gone. And they tried to sell it to MAGA that 1 minute missing was because the system has a glitch in which every once in a while a minute video just disappears. Well, if that's the case, you would think, don't show me 11 minutes of this. Show me a whole 24-hour clip so I can see when it goes for 1 minute disappearing multiple times. So you can verify at least that they haven't edited it, that boom, it does drop. Boom, it does drop. Boom, it does drop. Makes sense. No, they put out a video. Don't tell nobody a minute's missing. And then all of a sudden people find out there's a minute missing. Oh, the system does that. You would have told them that first, because you would have known a minute was missing yourselves, right, Pam Bondi? I mean, it's crazy how these people work. Facts is just, I mean, they set themselves up. Even if this is true, they set themselves up to look like liars. They should have said a minute is missing because of blah, blah, blah. Nope. They thought these people were going to look at this, take their word for it. And here's the crazy part. You didn't open up the door and bring out his body. You know what I'm saying? You didn't open the door and show us like, oh, this is when they got him. You just showed 2 closed fucking doors for 11 minutes. I don't get these people, man. They really think MAGA's stupid. And what's shocking to me is that they aren't that stupid. Even though they out there. They looked at this and was like, what the fuck does this mean? What are you talking about? It was hilarious to me to see that. It was hilarious to see that. They weren't about to have it. But then you get, I guess it was a Sunday or so before, because it turns out they're tripping out and saying that, telling everybody that this list never existed. That's what they sent out, Pam Bondi and all that. Now, Pam Bondi is going to tell all these people that the list never existed. But what does she do prior to? This is what kills me. One, will MAGA return back to the scene of stupidity, like the scene of the crime, but being a MAGA, like a diehard MAGA with no sense? Will they return back? Will they snap back to delusion world, or would they come out of it with actual facts? That's what we need to know, because we just saw 11. Well, I didn't see the whole 11 minutes. You can go check it out online. 11 minutes where they just show you a spot and don't show a body coming out. Don't show how he got hung, them bringing him out on a stretcher, nothing. And just looking at a door. And you're supposed to believe that's his room, which means what? Somebody could be in that room right now. You never see anybody come out. It could be a police officer in there right now, strangling the shit out of him. Could be somebody who wanted to unalive him, already in the room, killing him at this moment. And you think that just showing a door tells the world, see, nothing happened. Wow. That's the level of stupidity they think MAGA is, because regular Americans are like, please. Nobody listen to this shit. This ain't no validation and nothing like that. But you get Pam Bondi and Donald Trump, which I'll show later, kind of trying to dismiss all this stuff. But they act like it was MAGA or Americans who were pushing this Epstein memo and all this stuff like that. Remember, Donald Trump and his minions were saying that Bill Clinton was on that plane a lot, was saying other Democrats that had went there with him and was at his island. They were blaming people that we didn't even know. Donald Trump was doing this. That was during his campaign when he was trying to push everybody and their mama on that plane but himself. He was running this almost the same way he was running the birther movement, trying to make it a big issue so that his minions would focus on it. He had his minions focusing on this, all these conspiracy theories attached to it, so you wouldn't know what was real, what was fake, what was delusional. He did that on purpose, threw all this stuff into the mix, so you wouldn't believe whatever came out. You won't believe it, right? So now they're trying to act like, there's nothing there, but you're the ones who kept promoting it that there were. Like, this is Pam Bondi on Fox when she was admitting that there is something coming down the pike, and you guys, it's on my desk right now.
One of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that.
I'm reviewing it. A directive by Donald Trump, directly from Donald Trump for her to review it. It's on her desk, which means she got the orders from Donald Trump to look through this. We know that's a lie, but that's what she's on Fox saying. Donald Trump ain't asking her to look through no shit. If anything, if you see my face in it, you see my name in it, then don't report it. But go find it so before anybody else does. So go take it and burn it or whatever the hell. But you know this man knows that he was a part of this dirt. Donald Trump knows there is video, there is something of him in it. Y'all know this. I mean, you can't tell me you hang out with your homie. And I ain't saying it's something that incriminating that you may have did something illegal. That might be true too. But you hanging out at this spot with Ghislaine Maxwell and with your wife at the time. I don't know if she was your wife just yet, but she looks a lot younger, but it might have been your wife at the time. At least you was dating her. You, her, Ghislaine, and your boy we're all hanging out. Epstein, we're all hanging out together multiple times. Let's clarify some shit real quick. Basic knowledge. I don't know about how many of y'all have been married. I'm divorced, but I've been married. Okay. Me and my wife used to go out to parties and hang out with friends and meet people and things of that nature. Go out to clubs like I was younger. You know, as we got older, you know, stuff like that, we still would go out. We hang out with our friends mostly, you know, not just like anybody we didn't know. But when you see these pictures of Donald Trump and his wife Melania all like hugged up, and right behind them is Ghislaine and Epstein all hugged up, and all of them in a picture, homie, I'm gonna tell you something right there. Me and my girl are not hanging out with strangers like that. Those are people we hang with. We party with. You don't bring your girl with another dude and whomever that is. You don't bring your wife around that type of shit. Y'all hanging out as couple friends. How often do you go and hang out with just your man and his girl just by yourself? It's rare. Not unless y'all grew up together and know each other. These people were out on a couple's date. They were hanging out with each other, and they got pictures in different outfits multiple times. Those are your homies. Those are people you hang with. They ain't just meeting at no fucking like celebrity party, right? These people are hanging. And even when I've been to celebrity parties. Let me tell you, if you haven't been, you only hanging with your clique. You ain't walking up to no other dude and be like, I can tell you this, I'm different. I will do those things. When I go to those places, people think I'm weird. Like, do you know him? I'm like, nah, man, but he was cool and shit. But you don't know him, dude. Why you talking to him? I'm like, dude, are we in jail or what? I'm telling you, I've been to a lot of them. I came out to LA, got into the entertainment industry. I've been to a lot of these parties. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. And everyone, not every other one, every one of them, clicks, uber wealthy, got their own white table and couch and shit on a different level. Always something different like that. So for them to be hanging with each other, they homies. They part of the same clique. And for him to act like this dude is just some dude we ran into, straight bullshit. It's straight bullshit. There's no way. There's no way for that to happen. I mean, I could see, you know, you may have seen, oh, we both deal in real estate or something like that. They both weren't in real estate. Oh, I can see if we both in finance. They both weren't in finance. I can see that dude may have money and Donald Trump wanted to get money from him. Yeah, I can see hanging with him trying to get his cash flow. But even then, you hanging with him. Y'all becoming boys. So it's more likely the way they were friendly and hugging up on each other and being all super close and y'all homies. And so for you to act like you ain't got no parts of his lifestyle, although you don't been to that island and that island was exclusively for what he was doing, And you got a woman saying that you and him you raped her together, and she was very vivid about it. So what? She couldn't get, like the case didn't go all the way through. How many of y'all got that allegation? How many of you guys got an allegation that a 13-year-old says that you raped her? How many of y'all got that allegation in your life? Very few, if none. And Donald Trump got it by grown women and a girl, and probably other ones that just were too scared to come forward. You can't have that many women saying you don't grab them. Even tell it on the camera. I grab women by the punani. I don't know what TikTok, YouTube is like. You grab her by the punani. You said that right on the camera. Came off the bus, talking about give me some Tic Tacs because I just go right in to kiss a girl. That's a predator. Predator. So Pam Bondi is out here saying that Donald Trump told her to look at the Epstein files, and she has it on her desk, and they're going to release this information. She went even further because after this, or around the same time as this, she had some right-wing influencers come to their location, right? And while these right-wing influencers came to the location, they were there to basically show, see if I can get out. They were there just to show, and it's going to be probably a short little clip. Oh, it didn't come up? Give me a second. This, maybe it didn't come up. Let's see if I can get it again. But anyway, these right-wing influencers had these booklets that they had in their hands. I'm going to see if I can find the file. These booklets that they had in their hand. And these booklets were showing that, and it might come up, it might be really big. Okay. They were showing in their hands, right, that they had this booklet filled, as we see it again, with information of the Epstein files. These are right-wing influencers that they did this with, right? And so they wanted you to see, look, we got the information, we got the goods, you just don't have it yet. In that booklet, big ass booklet, was basically anything you could have got off the internet. Just gaslit everybody. Which lets you know these right-wing people are just as much as grifters toward the American citizens who are these MAGAs. Because every one of them holding that booklet up, if they had opened it up and read it, they wouldn't be holding that book up. Because it didn't have shit in it that you couldn't have just pulled off the internet. Heavily redacted things that you could have found on the internet. They're holding it up like some big ass pamphlet like, we got the goods. Promote it, all that crap. Total crap. All right. So you end up getting a lot of these MAGA people. That was Pam Bondi saying she's going to have it. Then having these people at the White House for these influencers at the White House to kind of like show you this presser of, look, they're getting the information. It's soon to come out to you. Then to come out with this recently to say, hey, ain't nothing out there. Ain't nothing out there. What do you mean ain't nothing out there? You've been promoting it. You're the one that's been pushing this theory of all these things happening. You're the one that got your whole party riled up and telling them that you got to get rid of the FBI because, and all the other ones because they're corrupt, and we're going to go in and give you the information. Remember Dan Bongino and Kakai Patel? Yeah, those two was making mad money screaming on a podcast what they're going to do, and nothing. Concepts of a plane. Binder, that's funny, rude. I wonder if I can get that to work again because me putting up you guys' names wasn't working yesterday. This app falls asleep every once in a while. Let me see if I can get it to put up you guys' information. Yeah, we go. There we go. So it had its information, you know, all this stuff that they were talking about in this pamphlet, supposedly, it was already out there. And so you got a lot of MAGA people pissed off that they put out this document this week, and they keep on trying to push it even further, that there's nothing there. Not only is there no client list, not only is there, you know, no footage of anything, and everything's missing except for this long 11-minute file or whatever that doesn't prove anything, but they led with what to tell you what it is and then showed it to you, thinking that MAGA was just going to look at it and listen and attach 1 + 1 and come up with 756, but they think it's 2. But that's what it was. But no, they actually came up with a 756. It's like, wait a minute, it's supposed to be 2. So MAGA don't know what the hell to do. So later, I'll show you, they try to bring out the big guns, and they're still trying to bring out the big guns, but MAGA ain't having it. And that, to me, shows that they have, you know, doesn't show me a lot about, like, the intellect aspect. It shows me that they believe in this conspiracy theory crap. It is not like a grifting thing for them. They have bought hook, line, and sinker into this ideology that Donald Trump is telling them the truth about this. And now he's just gotten in and he's turncoat. He's starting to turncoat. At least his people around him are. But I wonder what they're going to feel after what Donald Trump says at the end of this. But I wonder what they're going to feel about Donald Trump, because I know they're going to have hate for Pam Bondi. They already done told a few people. There was a girl's name who's, she's the, another right-wing person that he had on his plane. I'm not going to diss her because it's too easy. But, you know, has all the fillers and shit like that. Face look plasticky. That's the woman that he, you know, on his when he was running for campaigning, he put her on the plane. But anyway, that lady is coming out and saying that they need to get rid of Pam Bondi. So, you know, the last time she said to get rid of somebody, Donald Trump did it. So we'll see if he'll listen to her, because he thinks she has her foot on the ground with the MAGA nuts. But regardless, you got people, the big MAGA people who say they love Trump. Laura Loomer, thank you, Bamboozle, coming out and saying what they got to say about it, like the Tucker Carlsons and so forth. So I got a little edited clip I got with a couple of these people. I think it's Alex Jones is second. I think the first one is Tucker Carlson. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
The whole thing that this tape shows he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
So now, by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. So I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity.
This fool said he had integrity. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That shit was funny. This fool, first of all, pretending like he's about to cry. My man said, my mouth is watering right now. He forces himself to act like his mouth is watering right now. Regularly, it was like, because my mouth is watering now. Oh, wait a minute. Let me act that out. My mouth is watering right now. And I have integrity. You just pulled something that showed you have no integrity, that you lied about your mouth is watering. Then you made a face to make it seem like after you directed yourself to make it look like it's watering. And then you said you had integrity. These people. The fuck is wrong with these people? I can't believe this fool fixed his lips to say he had integrity. This is the same dude that lied about the children who were killed in a shooting, a school shooting, lied about it and lost his business because of it. Mr. Integrity himself. Dude, these people are so fucking delusional. How the fuck do you think you got credibility and that you got integrity saying that it was fake, that little babies were unalived, and told them that their families who lost their babies have been grieving forever, that they've had to fight your lies because people have been telling them, quit lying about your kid dying because they believed your nut job ass. You have integrity. What the flying fuck is that? These people, man. He ain't even done. He got some other little small thing to say after this.
And, I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out.
The whole thing.
Tears my guts up. This man, right after he said that it did something to him, he started to act
The
like
whole
it did.
thing
What
that
the
this
fuck happened
tape
there?
shows you.
Wrong. It's delayed. It must have hit the button twice. But yeah, I can't believe that this man literally told whoever the fuck is watching him, and now it's on mainstream media and stuff like that, and I'm showing it, but I'm making fun of it. I'm not validating this bullshit. This dude literally said he had integrity, and then goes on to perform. My mouth is watering right now. Whose mouth? The way he looked, his mouth was dry. He looked like it dried up instead of watered up. I'm going to throw up. Then he started acting that out. Who listens to this, yo? I mean, what level of stupidity? I mean, when you grew up, your parents had to look at you and be like, yeah, that was defective. Yep. Either that or your entire lineage is defective. How could you believe this crap coming out of his mouth when he's already lied and lost everything because of it? And had no problems harming families who lost their babies in the most egregious fucking way. I mean, how hard is it for you to think this person came in with a weapon that a person who as big as me, it would have tore me up. But he did it to babies, so it blew them up. And you get to see your kid left home. See, daddy, beautiful, clean, everything. I come and look at it, you like mince meat. And this man spent years telling them their child who looked like mince meat being shredded by bullets didn't happen. What type of human is that? And how delusional do you have to be that type of person and then get on a camera and say, I have integrity? And what kind of human listens to somebody after doing that and be like, he does? Jesus, help me. Help me. This shit is ridiculous. We also have that moment when Donald Trump was being interviewed and they was asking him about would he release the documents. Again, Donald Trump was on these media tours, so to speak, talking about these things. Now, in this one, they brought it up. But the reason why they brought it up is because Donald Trump had brought it up so many times that these other people had to ask him about it because his MAGA people were questioning it. Now, not only MAGA was questioning about Jeffrey Epstein, the entire world felt the pain of those young girls and wanted this man behind bars and did not miss him when he was unalived and didn't really care how he was unalived. I think many people was hoping he'd get shanked up in there. But the reality is there's laws. And once he died, this case disappeared. I'm like, wait a minute. He still had an estate. So what do we do with that? Where does money go? He's a billionaire. Where's his money going? Did it go to like rape counseling or something to help, or did it go to his? You look through that book and you find out his victims. Did you break it up amongst his victims? People who gave a damn about his victims wanted to see what the fuck was going to happen. But once he died, it just seemed like the government and everybody else tried to throw this shit under the rug. It's like, we understand you can't put him in jail and go through a trial, but his belongings, right? The evidence that proved that he still did it, right? Where is that going? Because I think the person who was given his property was Ghislaine. Now, here's another thing. With Ghislaine, this trick disappeared, took a lot with her, moved somewhere, and hid for a while. It took $1 million cash or some shit like that and hid for a while. They couldn't find her before they found her, brought her to justice, and put her in jail. And she got a better deal than most people thought she should have got. And it was all based upon what we heard. We don't know. The evidence in which the information in which she had to give prosecutors and so forth that gave her the better deal. Than she still got time, but she got a better deal than what she would have gotten. Now, what did she turn over that made that happen? And see, a lot of people who aren't MAGA had those types of questions. MAGA people had all kinds of other crazy questions, right? So we got that. Now here you get with when he was asked these particular questions, and he has a tell on himself, big time.
Americans have lost a lot of trust in institutions, and I think there's been a lot of discussion, especially online and especially with young people. How do we rebuild that trust in institutions, the CIA, the FBI, all those institutions?
You're right.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier.
Well, before you even talk about declassifying things, the trust of these organizations, I mean, especially from like from groups of people who are over policed, like people who look like me, we had a problem with them for a long time. Martin Luther King had a problem with them. Medgar Evers had a problem with them. We've had a problem with this agency for a long time. But white people didn't have a problem with this agency as much as we did. But see, they started having these problems with them, not because they believed they were doing anything wrong. They just believed they were coming after Trump. And that's why they tried to dismantle this organization. And they knew that people of color already had an issue with law enforcement because they treated us differently. And that was built into the system. But people like Donald Trump didn't listen, because we've been telling Donald Trump's old. We've been saying this for decades upon decades. And remember, he was for the police before he wasn't. When it was a situation where he was going to go to jail, that's why he was running for presidency, he had to discredit the organization. He wasn't going to get no big argument from people of color because they already been screaming this. But he was championing it while still hating on people of color. So those are the things that happened that made people stop to like question the FBI, CIA, and all the organizations, the alphabet boys and girls, because it was touching a white powerful man that was demonizing it so that he could get away with crimes. But when it was fucking with people of color, he was putting money into it. He was donating to these organizations. He was applauding them until they came after him.
I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these. Yeah. Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Quick.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Not as quick. You say, yeah. Yep. Look at that look. Had to think about it. This is a man who don't think that much. He had to think about that. Could you imagine what's going through his head? If I don't answer this fast enough, I got to answer this the right way because my people, he's going through, you could see. And usually they'll tell you when a person's lying, they look up into either the left or right. I forgot what it is. They look up into a corner. Donald Trump looked up and looked into a corner of his eye right before he answered this. Look, he looks up to a corner.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less
I guess I
so
would.
because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because
Less so, because you don't want to mess up people's lives if there's phony stuff in there, and there's a lot of phony stuff in there. How do you know what's in there? He's running for president at this point. I think this is when he was running for president. He wasn't president yet. And he has no access to those files, or did he? We know he don't read, but he says a lot of phony stuff in there. We won't mess up people's lives. That shit sounds like a what do you call that shit? A Law and Order response. Remember, like, you knew that one of the lawyers was on the take when they start automatically saying that definitively there's some fake shit in something, when you're like, we haven't looked at the evidence yet. Well, there's a lot of misinformation in there. Yeah. Did you see it yet? No. So how you know it's a lot of misinformation there? Because he knows he's in it. He knows he's in that. They got the flight logs. They know he and his wife went there often. Spent the night, spent weekends, spent days, probably spent weeks, maybe even months. They've been out there. Just a flight log alone would tell you, wait a minute, you spent 3 weeks out there, a month out there. This man did it every day. Just cross-reference the dates in which these people have come forth with their saying that they got raped, and you can see if Donald Trump was there. There's other ways to go about it than to get it. It may be circumstantial, but you don't have to get the person saying it to realize that they said that this happened on this date. If Donald Trump was there, there's no way he would not have known somebody was getting raped in the vicinity of where he was at if he was on the island. That's easy to find. That's why these Dan Bonginos and Kash Patels and Tucker Carlson and all these people wanted to know, so they wanted to put a Democrat in there. Clinton was there on that date. Remember, they was looking for all those documents to find out if Clinton was there and match it up to the stated rapes that happened in there. Months and dates that the prosecutor had. Because remember, there's more than one case. The very first case that he went through, Jeffrey Epstein, the prosecutor let him go. He ended up, I think he may have spent a little time, but they let him go, drop some of the charges, if not all, after they had put him through the whole process. So this is the second one. So those girls have evidence they have evidence from that first trial to say that he did certain things and therefore got out of it. How do you think he got out of that? He just charmed his way? How does a prosecutor have a bunch of kids saying they got to this man's, knowing his property? When you go in, you turn left and turn right, and that's where you get the massages and everything like that. There's a camera in there. How did they know this? At 13, 14-year-old kids, how did they know this? That don't live there, ain't family. Their parents have never been to said location. So a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl in high school, in junior high school, has seen your crib, and you don't have children for them to play with, with no play date. It's just you and Ghislaine. Come on. Come on, people. We don't need to have like the smoking gun. We can add 1 + 1 and get the 2. And that's what they don't want you to do. They can't give you the information because 1 + 1 will come to 2, and Donald Trump will be trapped in it. And maybe some Democrats. I don't care. If there's Democrats, independents, women, people we trust, celebrities we like, get their ass because they fuck with kids. Get them. Give a fuck who it is. If it's somebody I love and cherish, I don't care. They don't deserve to be loved and cherished if they did something like that to children. They need to be exposed. And you can't tell me a man that was highly organized and taking people's money, buying an island so that he can go do his dirt, then inviting people out to that said island to do business and dirt. And you're going to tell me he don't keep records? Gardeners take records, fool. The people who are taking care of that island, they keep records of what they've done, what they've bought, you're going to tell me on this island, this man kept zero records of the people, the girls, or any trophies for that matter. It's just insane to me that they believe that we're that stupid, but we'll continue.
So a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It would be interesting to find out what happened there, because that was a weird situation, and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera.
Americans have lost.
Now, he said the cameras weren't working. Now, again, the cameras were working from what we just saw. They work. It's just 1 minute, it's gone away from it. But that, again, wasn't his location. That wasn't his room. Neither one of those were his room. Based on schematics and people who actually got to see the crime scene, that was not it. So why did they release that? I don't know, but they're MAGA people. I'm sure they're going to get to it, unless they just kind of cave in and just go back to being simps for Trump. But that was his response. Now, you got to understand, I wanted to put this together a while back ago just to have the juxtaposition of Dan Bongino then and now. Lord, check this shit out.
This isn't about Epstein or 9/11 or JFK or RFK. It is, but it isn't. It's about a bigger thing. If you're lying about that, you're lying about everything. Who's on the Epstein tapes, folks? Who's on those tapes? Who's in those black books? Why have they been hiding it?
Exactly. Who's on the tapes? Who's on the tapes? This is him before. I want you to, before we get finished with it, I want you to get that face out of your head. You saw him all angry, and you know the hairline that started back here, the redness and shit. Now you're about to see him look totally different, and just look at his face alongside cockeyed Patel.
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
You know a suicide when.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at these fools. The most energetic, blah, 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 blah. Look at that, folks. Look at this, folks. To like, he killed himself. The fuck is that energy at, bruh? Where's that energy where you was out there grifting and shit and putting it all out there? Now, both of you guys, both of your podcasts, you was all, now you're like, he killed himself. I saw it. Really? They say it don't even exist, but you saw it. Now you're saying it doesn't even exist, but you saw the paperwork. You saw the video and all stuff like that. He killed himself. There was video inside the cell that you get to see him kill himself. What we saw is not enough to tell us that he killed himself. So you saw it. But beforehand, you had this big conspiracy theory. Big conspiracy theory. Angry, animated. And now you're subdued. They look like Donald Trump took them in the back, pulled their pants down and whooped their ass, and they just came back out. Okay. And when, I don't know if it was me. I just never really paid attention to Cass Patel's voice. Since when he started sounding like the Munchkins? I mean, he seriously sounds like a Munchkin. I did not realize that until now, today.
When you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself.
Suicide when you see one, and suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to get? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
That's what he sounds like to me. But he said he killed himself. Look at him in the eyes. He looked dead inside right now. Look at that shit. All that. Now he just looks dead. Right behind his eyes, y'all. Y'all can tell this motherfucker's lost. His job is like, man, I'm on the island of misfit, like FBI people. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally crapping my drawers right the fuck now. I'm telling you, I smell like boo-boo because I am scared shitless. Because I'm not even scared of the FBI. I'm scared of the MAGA because they going to sit here and rip me to shreds. You know what they tried to do to Mike Pence? They brought a guillotine because he wouldn't sign a piece of paper. What you think they're going to do to you? You done got yourself into this place and they ain't getting no information now? They done went to all kind of lengths, risked their lives and everything based on your lies. And now, they already done said, some of these people done said, you're one of them. You're one of them now. You gotten into the office and you're one of them. See, when you build nut jobs, they'll turn on you. I done said this since day one. It is going to be MAGA that destroys MAGA. They're going to start eating each other. They are going to start eating each other. They're going to get these dudes and these girls, all of them, Pam Bondi and him and Kash Patel. They ain't making it 4 years. And I ain't talking about alive. I hope that's not the case. I don't care about, I don't wish no death on anybody. But they ain't making it in that office for 4 years. Not at all. But that's where he looked, all scared and, and I'm like, dude, I thought you was down for this cause. You got to find something, man. You got to find something because your people going to want something, even if you're going to make it up. You got to find something for them. You got to give them something to hang on to, some hope, because they don't want to be, believe that they just stupid for stupid's sake. They got to be a reason I was a dumbass for y'all. And y'all ain't bringing no paperwork? Now I'm starting to feel real stupid. Because first of all, you got to ask yourself, are they going to turn against Trump? And I doubt they do that. Because their hatred of other people is stronger than their love of self. So this right here is just like, I think this is like one of those moments where when you was a kid and your parents told you that there was no such thing. Anybody got any kids, turn your shit down. Turn it down. Turn it down. Turn it down. I'm going to say something before your kids get to hear it. Because I got this set for 18 and over. It's like when you told your kids there was no Santa Claus. These fools right here, they hurt. They hurt. They crying. They wondering who the fat dude with the beard was in there giving them cookies and shit. Who was eating my cookies if it wasn't Santa Claus? Your fat ass dad. That's who it was. That's who it was. And that's how butthurt they are. That's how butthurt they are. They found out that it was no Santa. And now what are they going to do? They're going to be mad for a minute, but they might, it's probably going to dissipate. Then when these taxes start to kick in on their ass and when they start losing their health care, yeah, they might want to look out. They might want to look out because they built these nut jobs. These nut jobs will realize, and you got to understand something. The ones who have unalived people to this date have been all Republicans. The two people that tried to assassinate Donald Trump, Republicans. The two people, or the one person who unalived all these Democrats, that was Republicans. A lot of these mass shootings have been from right-wing Republicans and MAGA people as of late. Not for, I don't know, some of it back when Donald Trump was there before, yeah. So they have no problems. Those are the ones that are mostly like gun happy with mental problems. That's exactly how they feel, DJ. There's no Santa. They flipping out. Thank you for buying 5 memberships, DJ. I appreciate you. Thank you for the gift. $10. They need better acting instructors. They really do. Most definitely do. But yeah, so that's what they're going through right now. They're going through a process of where life is just falling apart for them right at this moment. And this is just one. They passed that big, beautiful bill that pissed off a fraction of their base. And then this thing comes along, is peeling off another fraction of their base, whereas this thing they've been waiting for and holding on to, they're just getting rid of their conspiracy theories. And it's like, dude, they live by those conspiracy theories. And then now Donald Trump said something today of the fact that he's going to start sending more bombs to Ukraine because he got butthurt because Putin is treating him like the bitch he is. Now we might send some weapons. You're going to send some weapons, right? You're going to send some weapons, right? Now that got them crazy too. He said he wasn't going to be sending them nothing and they're upset. So they're having a bad week. They're having a bad week. All these, Christmas gifts they're supposed to get They find out there's no Santa. They find out that Santa done stole the gifts instead of laying them up under their tree. They're having a bad week. They're having a bad week, and their bad week is going to be a bad life for many of them. Like I told you yesterday, the majority of people who will get hurt by this big beautiful bill will be mostly in red states and will be mostly by the millions, somewhere around 6.7 million white people, and they won't all be Republicans, I'm sure, but it'll be white people in these red states that will lose their health care. Others will too, don't get me wrong, but the majority, they thought they was going to hurt the majority of colored people or people of color, but it turns out it's going to be mostly white. So yeah, they're going to have a big time of disappointment, just back to back to back. They don't even realize that tariffs, no matter how many times you tell them that tariffs are taxes on them. When Donald Trump's talking about we raised billions and billions of dollars, Donald Trump was like the reverse Santa, like the horrible Santa. Donald Trump is going into everybody's home and stealing change and putting it in a bank account and saying, look how much we saved. He's stealing from you and telling you he saved money. How is that saving money when your money is being gone for no reason other than the fact that he's raising tariffs on shit? Whew. Anyway, so we got one more thing with Trump. We're going to go move on a little bit, but this topped it off today. All of this Jeffrey Epstein shit to discredit the FBI, DOJ, CIA, and everything else, every law enforcement that's in government. And oh, by the way, Supreme Court gave Donald Trump the right to be able to fire, like a mass fire, a lot of people in the federal government, but in the FBI and stuff like that. But regardless, on top of that, this man is the one who built this facade of FBI being so cruel against white people that these racist white people continue to allow this man to destroy the fabric of American democracy and our power structure. So they give it to him mostly, a man who can't barely read past like 5th grade. But I digress. Now this man is coming out and saying something else.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. Can you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If I
could I just interrupt for 1 second?
He asked, why was there a minute missing? And she's like, sure, let's hear it. Then Donald Trump interrupts. Check this shit out.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
His homie. Creep? Okay.
Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
Your memo.
He said it seems like a desecration on the things that they're talking about today. What the fuck is he talking about? This is going on right now. You built this machine and now you're trying to destroy it by saying that we don't talked about him long enough. We still talking about this creep? That was your homie. You creep with him. You're the one that built this whole thing up with the conspiracy theories. You got Alex Jones. You got all these different people. You guys spent millions of dollars giving to podcasters to push this shit. You help pay for their like conventions and shit like that, the Charlie Kirks of the world. You guys promoted this shit over and over and over and over again. And when it doesn't benefit you anymore, we're still talking about it? You've been talking about it this whole past year. You've been talking about it this year. So much so you were the one saying, here's a pamphlet of what we have. This right here tells you a lot. Here you go, people. They gave that to people to kind of shut it down and say, hey, you got it. Now let's keep moving. We done use this crap up. I'm president now. Here you go. And they're like, this ain't shit. We could have got this on the internet. Matter of fact, there's probably more on the internet. And they keep asking for more. And they're like, we done squashed this, right? No, you ain't squashed it, bruh. You built it up to be something big. And it is something big. Not even for what MAGA wants it for. But what regular Americans want to know is, when are you going to arrest these people who were doing this to these kids? Because you can't tell me because he died, the case just dies. That's not how it go down. If you got evidence on camera, on video of things that's been done with kids, hello, you don't need the dude who recorded it. You know you found it in his room or in his house. And you can't tell me this man didn't have cameras in his rooms. The girl said he did. So you don't record shit and then tell me when they go to get you, you don't destroy them all. This man has been doing this for tens of years. He's got footage galore. And you telling us you got all this footage and nothing was on him. And we know Prince Andrew is on them. We got pictures of him with the girls. Come on. This is just nonsense. I had every time he speaks, right? Right, Chuck Johnson? They thought because he knew it would not ever be released and his peeps are stupid, so he thinks. And they are, for the most part. But I think they're having some kind of little awakening with all the things that's hitting them. See, they thought, many of them thought that they weren't going to get these stray bullets. That they weren't going to get these stray bullets. They thought that the bullets was going to be sniper clean. But no, everything that they're doing is incorporating them too. They're getting hurt. Some of them are being unalived. Someone mentioned the Texas floods. That camp of the girls, I've noticed, and I don't know anything about this camp. I haven't done any research about it. If you know more than I do, please let me know. But I have been watching footage about these floods, and that camp had a crap ton of Republicans going to it, Republican kids going to it. People who profess to be staunch Republicans, oh, my cousin went there, my daughter went there. And so it's like, it is a huge thing. And maybe it's like this really expensive or exclusive club. I don't know, but it's more, I think, Christian type of thing. But throughout that whole process, you know that many of these people were MAGA. Not that, I don't know about the people who are unalive, but the people who lived in that community, right? And so not only they're reaping these horrible like tragedy right now, on top of that, they're realizing, I saw one lady today complaining that they haven't received a dime, they haven't received any kind of real help, and she's in an area that's I guess a poorer white community. So she was really like destroyed by the fact that they haven't reached them yet, they haven't helped them yet, and she was crying for help. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and this is just me personally. I don't know what you guys saw, but I haven't seen today one person on either on like through the clips of CNN or MSNBC, Fox. I haven't seen any of them actually call out the governor of Texas of not helping them. Remember when the Democrats in the fire here in LA, all they got was $750, a measly $750. This woman hasn't even gotten that. And you don't see Democrats out here saying they don't even have $750. At least we gave $750. You guys didn't give me $750. You can see, like, again, there is a drastic difference between the Democrat Party leadership, people who are empowered, and the Republican Party leadership. If this flood happened in California, they would be cussing out the fact that, Gavin knew scum and didn't know what he was doing. He should have did this. They would have went the fuck off on us. But I haven't seen that happen. I've seen them say, we need to find out what happened because it looks like these cuts were a big deal. And they got that information from people who were cut from the organization saying that when they left, that position was not filled. And that position, one of the positions, is the one that would have figured that shit out. And they haven't replaced that person yet. So yes, we got to do an investigation to find that out. But again, Donald Trump and his minions are trying to quell that and got people in the office saying, hey, I don't trust anything coming out of this office with Donald Trump at the helm. This is the same man that has news organizations giving him $16 million because they want to have a merger, and the merger relies on Donald Trump and his people saying yay or nay. So they're paying them off. Now, can you believe the news coming from somebody who would pay somebody off so they can make billions of dollars? Are they really going to tell you the truth? That's the problem that they're having. These mainstream medias are taking money. And even some of these podcasters taking money from Russia or whatever it is. I don't see how they have trust. But then those are the MAGA people. But I didn't know of any Democrats who got exposed for taking $100,000 or $400,000. I saw Republicans saying, yeah, I bet you're getting money for doing this, that, and that. They think we are because they are. And they're condemning and projecting onto Democrats something that every Democrat person I know doesn't receive any funds. You can't say that for the Republicans. Once they got caught, be like, well, I didn't know, blah, 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 and then continued on like Alex Jones did. I got integrity. How? They speak it into existence. They literally call it. It's just like somebody saying, I'm a genius. Nobody else recognizes it, but you say it, therefore it is. Batshit crazy. So it's just been kind of crazy, ladies and gentlemen, through this whole process for me, and I'm sure for you as well. But the governor there, one thing I think I misspoke about yesterday, I don't know for sure, I went and did more research. Donald Trump talked mad shit about California when we had our fires. It was Donald Trump and his Republican minions in leadership that were talking mad shit and talking about not sending FEMA and all that stuff like that to California. I went and checked out today. Governor Newsom sent forces out there to help find bodies and, to give them rest and stuff like that in Texas because of the floods and all that. Admirable. But what I misspoke on was that I didn't have any evidence to say it. I just said that. I said, I bet, because Texas was with Donald Trump on this tip about Gavin Newsom. They didn't come to defend him. They just kind of let that shit ride. But what I found out is that Texas literally sent people here to help out with our firefighters. So I got to give them love for that. Texas did do that. I didn't say they didn't do it, but I kind of assumed that. But, because of the fact of the things they said about California during that process. But they did send some of their people, firefighters, and some trucks and things like that to help us with the fire. So you got to give them mad respect for what they did do. But at the same time, what I said was true. They did say a bunch of shit about California and how it was weak leadership and all this other crazy shit. And that was the MAGA crowd saying that. I can't say that anybody I know specifically in Texas leadership that said it. But I don't know about Governor Abbott. I don't know what he said. I got to look that up. At this point, I don't know. But I know he sent some people to help. And LA just sent people to help. So interstate stuff, dope, helping each other. That's what we're supposed to do, help each other out. So that's what happened. But they send military to MacArthur Park. Yeah, that's not the state. That's federal government. And that was crazy. Did you see some of them had real guns and some of them had like these high-powered looking paint guns? I was like, since when did they have paint guns? All right, is this real? Is this real shit? Or is this like people who are cosplaying? But Mayor Bass, Karen Bass, went out there, and soon after her getting out there, getting on the phone, they dismantled. But what do they need horses for? From what a reporter said, some of them looked like they couldn't even ride the horses that great. Why were they out there? It made no sense to me. But those are the things that happened today. And also, was it Marco Rubio? And this is just a side note because it really didn't amount to anything just yet that we know of. But it showed some vulnerability in our security systems, so to speak. Because someone, and I guess they didn't go through our system. They didn't say that they went through like our process. I don't know how they got leaders' numbers because it's not easy to get leaders' numbers. You know what I'm saying? So somehow an imposter used AI, which they only really need like 20 seconds of your voice, and then fill out the form and says, it's just asking, is this, you have permission to use this voice? You say yes. And then for commercial reasons, and then you can use that voice. And they used his voice to talk to a bunch of like governors and, or at least I think 1 or 2 governors, senators, stuff like that. So I guess their numbers were out there. I don't think they spoke to any foreign leaders. No, they did say ambassadors too. So I don't know, or not ambassadors. What do they call them? But it was leaders in other countries. I don't know how they got their numbers. I don't understand that at all. So that's something they got to look into. Got to look into it. I want to thank you guys for being here. Was it Rude Interplanet, Janet, DJ, Bamboozle, Chuck Johnson in the house. I appreciate y'all. Swift Returns. Swift Returns said batshit crazy became so literal post-COVID. It really did. During COVID, I had never seen people just go crazy over a mask, bro. I was like, it's a mask. Wear it. Then when you pass 6 feet, pull it down. Get close to somebody, pull it up. It's simple shit. You know what I'm saying? Just pull it down, pull it up. I kept mine on. Like I told people, I would wear it today. I ain't got no problem with it. Because I don't know if people had heard it before, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Before this happened, Asian people used to do this all the time. All the time. Still do. Whenever they get a cold or something, it's just respect. They put on one and it's that's what it is. I had never done it. But the 2 years that I did it, y'all, the 2 years that I wore that mask everywhere I went outside my house and kept it on, I promise you this, as God is my witness, I got allergies. Allergies I have. And I get them around April. You know what I'm saying? I'm allergic to dust and stuff like that. So, it's weird. I don't know if there's like different types of dust, but some dust I'm cool, other dust I'm not. So then there's other, things that fucking take my breath away. Like ragweed. That'll fucking kill me. But throughout all of that, where ragweed was around and everything, ragweed will mess me up, y'all. I wore that mask for 2 years. I didn't have so much as a cold. I barely even fucking sneezed. It was crazy. I didn't have the flu. I had the head cold or a head flu or flu at least once or twice a year. For 2 years straight, damn near 3 because I was wearing it still. I didn't have none of those. My allergies, no cold, no flu, barely even sneeze, no allergic to dust, nothing. Ragweed didn't fuck with me, nothing. For 2 years. I was like, and it was so crazy because I was so used to not having any kind of cold for those 2 years. I didn't realize it until like the middle of the second year. I looked over to my girlfriend. I'm like, have you had a cold? She's like, nah. My nose hasn't even ran this entire 2 years, a year and a half at the time it was. And I was like, that's crazy. Well, I'm gonna wear this shit forever. Shit, I can't stand that cold taking me down for a few days. Because some of them, like my flus, they may last, the head cold rather, they may last like 2 or 3 days, but they knock my ass out. Head colds were worse than COVID. I got COVID twice. Head colds are worse than COVID for me. Head cold just all up in this region, all up in this region. It's like somebody taking a bat to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Little tiny bat inside me, just bap, 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 just kicking my ass. I'm like, can't even move my neck. It's just, it's like mind boggling. Didn't have none of that, man. I was like, I gotta start wearing masks. I don't care what people think. You can get pissed off with a mask all you want. I'm like, you sneeze all day if you want to. Lose days if you want to. I mean, I was like, I take sick days and I ain't even sick. Shit, my sick days became vacation days after I wore a mask. Because of my asthma, it made me feel like I was dying from not being able to breathe. Yeah, some people had that situation happen to them. But my sinuses were dope. Yeah, the sinus infections are brutal. But yeah. Is it don't smoke rag? Get the good. I swear. Ragweed, I get you. I'll never understand people who don't believe in science. Alice, I don't know. I just, you know what? I get tired of fighting the stupid because it's like, dude, how can you not believe in something that's proven like every minute of your life? You know, I don't understand people who think it's a flat earth. I mean, I every once in a while, I'll flip through some video or something or on TikTok or whatever, on YouTube, and I'll see somebody that I'm like, oh, I like him. And then he's talking about flat earth. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, so how do you prove that when you go out of space and they send back a picture or they take a video and you see a sphere, how do you say that's flat? And who was it? And I like him too. John Sally, man. I think he was on Vlad TV or something. I was like, that's a smart brother. But when he started talking about that there's a sphere, like a sphere bubble, like whatever it is, on top of the earth, and it's flat, and that's why you see it as round. I was like, who built this sphere, this glass dome on top of the earth, bro? A glass dome. It made more sense for you to think that our creator created a glass dome instead of the earth being round. I mean, seriously, it was. Finance wins. I love that. I love that bamboozle. He said, new idea. A game show for flat earthers. Drop them off. First to find the edge wins. Oh my God. It was hilarious though. I was like, I still love you, John Sally, but that's one of the dumbest things I ever heard, man. You need to stop smoking whatever you smoking because that shit got you tripping. When you see them taking pictures in space, you see a dome. I mean, there's never been a picture found of a dome anywhere when people go out into space. And we've seen these things leave the atmosphere and come back. It's not a dream. We've seen that. There's not just a picture taken. You can literally take your butt to one of these launchings and see it enter the sky, the clouds, and don't come back for like a month. Where do you think the fuck it went? It's gone out there for 6 months. You think it's just hovering above the clouds. And when they send those pictures back of what you see, every fucking planet is round, but you think all of them got a dome on it and they flat. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but that gets me, boy. I be like, yo, you need to just shut up, bro. Just shut up. Please. You can have your own opinions, but keep them bitches to yourself. Don't let no other kid hear that. Come on, man. You flunk science if you say some shit like that. Hey, something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with it. He's doing something. He's doing something twisted. Anyway, I'm about to get out of here. I got to go to the airport, take my girlfriend to the airport. But I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for supporting the show. Again, all those who were here today, and I think it was that supporter show was DJ. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate you. What we got? Yeah, it says that the average American's at 6th grade level. That's what I found out. You got 5th grade level? I gotta find the source again for me, but I'll look it up. Take care, Azura. Take care, everybody. Much love to y'all. I'm about to get up out of here. I appreciate all my members who are here, all the new members. Thank you for the donations. You always know the way you can support me, as always. And thank you, Alice, early for the Zelle. It worked. It appeared it worked. I'm thankful for that. Let's see if I can take this down. This is the way you can support me. I appreciate it for that donation yesterday. And I'll see you guys tomorrow around 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's been getting closer to 6 because my job, I get off of it and traffic's kind of crazy, but I get here as soon as I can and get to work. But throughout the day, I'm collecting information. So you guys have a great night. Be safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, I'll see you when I see you.